You want to look at sweeps as well. You want to see how one part of the heart connects to the next part. And this is very important, and I've sort of been touching upon this already, but you should be thinking in terms of structures and relationships. So even though we're acquiring basic views, you want to be thinking in terms of structures and relationships. So when you're doing a four-chamber view, you want to be thinking, look, am I seeing the mitral valve well? Is it normal? Is the crux normal? Is the tricuspid valve normal? Is the heart squeezing normally? So you want to think of the structures. It's not just, oh, I got a four-chamber view, I'm good. Because when I'm scanning, often I need several different four-chamber views to see the four-chamber. It's not just one view, it's often multiple views. And you want to think in terms of relationships, meaning how is one part of the heart connected to the next, and for that you often need to sweep. So here are just some of the basic views, covered a little bit. These are from AIUM. You can see the normal as we talked about. Stomach descending aorta, IVC. Now this comes from the AIUM guidelines. You can see the four-chamber view. You can see the left ventricular tract and the right ventricular tract. The three-vessel view. I like sagittal imaging. Sometimes they're a little bit more difficult and not as important as these other. Probably the basic views that are most important are the ones I talked about in my first talk. The abdominal situs, four-chamber, left ventricular tract, right ventricular tract, and three-vessel view. But in addition, I think sagittal imaging can be very useful, a little more challenging. So I would start with the basics and then try to do some sagittal imaging. This is the aortic arch. This is the ductal arch. This is one thing that isn't talked a lot about in the guidelines, but I think very important, is that the pulmonary artery should not bifurcate. You want the pulmonary artery to, ideally, should be trifurcating. It should trifurcate into the right pulmonary artery, the left pulmonary artery, and the ductus. In the diagram, there's the right, the left, and the ductus. So here, right, left, ductus. Sometimes the right and the left do not come off the PA, and then you might be fooled. So you need to be able to make sure you're seeing the right and left pulmonary arteries. Here's just a view, sagittal view showing the SVC and the IVC. And again, these are guidelines that these are from the AIUM guidelines, but you can see a short axis view at the level of the base of the heart. You can see the tricuspid valve and the pulmonary valve. See how far they are from each other. That's a function of the conus in the right ventricle. And on the bottom, you can see the short axis, but at the level of towards closer to the apex, you can see that this tricuspid valve has septal attachments. The mitral valve doesn't, and the right ventricle is more trabeculated. So again, the importance of sweeps, as I mentioned, you could see the relationship of the stomach and the heart on the same side. When we look at the four-chamber view, it's very important to look at the afflotrax crossing. And this, again, you need a sweep to show this. And then I like to show the aortic and ductal arches sweeping right to left from a sagittal view. This is not, don't need to do this, but if you're ready to take this on, it's another way to look at the aortic arch. To look, you can pick up a right aortic arch or left aortic arch. If you look on the left of the screen, you can see the ductal arch, the aortic arch, and the trachea over here. Or you can look on the right screen. Here's the ductal arch, trifurcates, the aortic arch, trachea. So ductal arch, aortic arch, trachea, that shows the aortic arch. That's when you're sweeping from the fetal left to the fetal right. The aortic arch on the left, if you get to that first, it means it's a left arch. It's also a nice view showing the trifurcation of the pulmonary artery, of the main pulmonary artery. And then finally, this, as I mentioned before, the sweep, the three-vessel view, is good to do a sweep from the four chambers so you know which vessels you're looking at. So if you follow the arrow here, the left ventricle goes off the aorta, comes up, and goes to the left. Comes up and goes to the left, whereas the pulmonary artery goes directly to the left, as it should. The aorta comes up, goes to the left of the trachea, as it should. And here's the trachea over here. So I mentioned before the importance of focusing on structures. When you're evaluating the heart, there's lots of different views to keep in mind, all these different views that are in the guidelines, but really the important thing is not the views themselves, but we use them to see the structures. And this is an example I use. This is a bird. I don't know if any of you like to look at birds. I like to look at birds and to identify the bird. Sounds not working. So this is how do you figure out what type of bird this is? You're looking at the bird, and I don't know if any of you know this bird, but it's a western tanager. So if you're a bird watcher, how do you look at a bird? How do you figure out what kind of bird it is? And the ornithologist is a bird watcher. Bird watchers look at structures and they use different views towards figuring out what kind of bird it is. So we can look from the front, and we can look from the side, and we can look from the back. But the specific views are not that important themselves. It's not that we need to see a lateral view, or we want to see a lateral view because we want to see certain structures. It's all about the structure. It's not about the views in and of themselves. So the relevance to fetal echo is that the individual views and sweeps are supposed to facilitate or help, not to replace a detailed segmental evaluation of the fetal heart, structure and function. So another way to look at it is you don't want to evaluate fetal echo or even fetal cardiac imaging as just a bunch of views. You just need to get this view and that view and that view and that view. It's the views themselves is not what it's for. It's really the structures. It's really the structures and how they're related to each other. That matters. So my take-home points for this point is that the segmental approach to fetal echo evaluates the fetal heart piece by piece as a series of independent segments and connections. So when you're looking at the heart, it's true you want to get certain views, but when you're trying to get the four-chamber view, think of all the structures. Are you seeing everything that you're supposed to see well in that when you're doing that four-chamber view? Maybe you can see that sometimes when you're scanning, when I'm scanning, it's a very difficult window, and I can see a portion of the four-chamber view. Maybe I'm seeing the mitral valve really well, or the left atrium really well, or the crux, but I'm not seeing other parts. So as I'm imaging each view, the four-chamber view, the outflow tracts, I'm thinking about the structures, not the views themselves, because you may multiple different views to make sure that every structure is normal, and you want to evaluate how each structure is related to the next. How is the aortic valve related to the aorta? Or how is the left ventricle related to the pulmonary artery? So the planes or views and sweeps should serve as tools towards developing a comprehensive evaluation of the structure and function of the fetal heart. So segmental analysis is really an overall view of the cardiac anatomy, going from veno or from the veins all the way out to the arteries, thinking in terms of structures and relationships and utilizing views and sweeps just to help you put together in your own mind what does this heart look like, and can you tell the patient at the end that this heart, the structures, and the relationships are normal? Sitting down on